All right, everyone, buckle up. Welcome to another deep dive.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are going deep into Five Nights at Freddy's today.
Sounds scary.
It is. So we're going to be building your very own FNAF timeline theory, which is very exciting.
Oh, tall order.
It is a tall order, but we can do it.
I believe.
We have all the sources in front of us. We've got YouTube videos from dedicated theorists. We've got excerpts from The Fourth Closet, the graphic novel.
Mm-hmm.
And we even have some images, some really cool images that I can't wait to share with you.
Yeah, this is going to be really cool.
Oh, go.
So the thing about FNF that's really, I think, the most interesting is that the story is so fragmented. We have pieces of the story everywhere. You know, across the games and the books and even those little mini games that you find tucked away. Like, our mission is to assemble all those pieces into some kind of chronological narrative that makes sense to kind of explain the chaos.
Okay, so let's set the stage.
Yeah.
Most theorists agree that Freddy Fazbear's Pizza opened its doors in 1983.
Right.
Okay, you know, a place of bright lights, happy birthdays.
Yeah.
But then in 1985, the infamous missing children's incident happened.
Yes.
5 children vanished. Their souls are forever linked to the animatronics.
That's right. And I think that that really sets the stage for everything that comes next. You know,
Yep.
a story really built on death, possession, and revenge.
Absolutely.
Now, while theorists generally agree on the order of the games, the specific years that some of them take place are still hotly debated.
Yeah, like FNAF 4, for instance.
Exactly.
Is it a prequel set in 1983 before the main Freddy's opened? Or is it a terrifying dream sequence experienced by one of the victims?
Ooh.
What clues do our sources offer here?
Well, I think the visuals in FNAF 4 are crucial here. You know, the house, the simplistic Fredbear and Spring Bonnie plushies, and the lack of phone calls really points towards a time before the more technologically advanced pizzerias.
Oh, I see. So if it's a dream, though, wouldn't those details be drawn from the victim's memories anyway? It's not like dreams are bound by logic.
That's true, but the gameplay mechanics are really interesting.
Oh.
Especially the focus on hiding and listening for sounds. I think they're very distinct from other games. And it's just a child's perspective.
Oh, okay.
You know, someone who is more vulnerable and reliant on basic senses.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see both sides of this argument already.
Uh-huh.
Where does FNAF 1 fit into all of this?
That's the question.
Some theorists place it in 1993, others 2003, some even later.
Yeah, that's right.
How can we even make sense of that?
Well, again, I think the technology is a really key indicator here.
Okay.
So, the security cameras, the digital clock, the clunky computer system all suggest a time frame in the early to mid-90s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's definitely not as sleek and modern as the tech that we see in
Exactly.
Security Breach.
Yep.
So let's just say, for argument's sake, that FNAF 1 does take place in 1993.
Okay.
What does that tell us about the timeline?
It means that roughly a decade has passed since the missing children's incident.
Right.
The pizzeria has reopened, but the animatronics are still haunted, driven by the vengeful spirits of those victims.
Driven by revenge.
That's right.
Now that brings us to the question of the crying child, the bite victim from FNAF 4.
Right.
Could his real name actually be Dave, as some theories suggest? What evidence do we have for that?
So the survival logbook
Okay.
has a few cryptic clues, including drawings that resemble the FNAF 4 protagonist,
Okay.
and the word Dave scrawled on one page. Now, David was a popular name in the 70s and 80s, especially in Utah, where the games are believed to be set.
Hold on a second. That's interesting because the Afton family supposedly has British accents, despite living in Utah.
Yes. It adds a whole other layer of mystery.
It does.
Yeah, some theorists speculate that the Aftons might have immigrated to the U.S. shortly before the events of the first game,
Okay.
which would explain that accent discrepancy.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But if the crying child isn't named Dave, who is he?
Ray.
What other clues do we have?
Well, the graphic novel, The Fourth Closet, offers a fascinating possibility.
Oh.
In one scene, a character claims to have faced animatronics before
No.
and boldly states, "I can do it again." This suggests that they might have a connection to the events of the games.
Oh, wow.
Perhaps even a history with William Afton himself.
Wow, that's a twist.
Yeah.
So, could this character be someone who knew the crying child?
Yeah.
Maybe a sibling?
Potentially.
Or even a close friend?
Yeah, it's a possibility worth considering.
Wow.
I think the graphic novels, while not always directly aligned with the game's lore, often provide interesting insights and alternative perspectives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of William Afton, let's dig into his character a little bit. Because we have this theory that he might have started with good intentions.
Yeah.
What evidence points to that possibility?
Well, some theorists point to the fact that, Afton was initially inspired by the dancing bear shows of the 1930s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he saw the joy those performances brought to children, and he wanted to recreate that experience using animatronics.
Okay, that makes sense. It explains his fascination with bringing life to inanimate objects.
Yeah.
But what could have been the turning point?
Well,
What twisted him down this dark path?
the sources suggest that the death of his daughter Elizabeth at the hands of Circus Baby
Ooh, yeah.
could have been the catalyst.
Wow.
Imagine that guilt, that grief, the desperate longing to bring back what he lost.
Yeah,
It's really a recipe for obsession and reckless experimentation.
absolutely. That kind of loss can consume a person, warp their view of the world.
Totally.
It's a classic, tragic villain origin story.
Absolutely.
But there's also the rivalry with Chica's party world.
Right. The competition, the pressure to create increasingly sophisticated animatronics
Yeah.
might have pushed Afton towards more dangerous and ethically questionable technologies.
Yeah, it's like the classic tale of ambition leading to ruin. But where does his business partner, Henry Emily, fit into all of this?
Right.
Was he aware of Afton's sinister side, or was he,
Yeah.
as some theories suggest, framed for Afton's crimes?
It's one of the big mysteries, isn't it?
Yeah.
Henry's role is it's so intriguing.
Yeah.
We know he eventually takes such drastic measures to stop Afton, culminating in that fiery inferno of FNAF 6.
All right.
But his actions leading up to that point are just shrouded in ambiguity.
Yeah, it's like, was he involved, or was he a victim himself?
Yeah, exactly.
And what about the security puppet?
Ooh, yes.
Some theories suggest that Henry created it to protect children from the animatronics. Perhaps, maybe even before he fully understood the extent of After the crimes.
That's a very interesting possibility.
It is.
And the puppet's connection to Charlie, Henry's daughter, adds another layer of tragedy to this narrative, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Her spirit, trapped within the puppet, becomes a guardian for other lost souls, seeking to protect them from the horrors that Afton unleashed.
Yeah, it's getting real deep, real fast.
It is.
Okay, so we've laid the groundwork for our FNF timeline, but there's still so much more to uncover.
So much more in the next part.
We'll keep going.
We'll delve into the events following FNF 1,
Okay.
exploring how that cycle of death and revenge continues to shape the timeline.
Oh, good.
We'll unpack the mystery surrounding Golden Freddy,
Okay.
the nature of Remnant and Agony,
Yes.
and the rise of Afton's digital alter ego, Glitch Trap.
Right, and we'll tackle that big question.
Oh, yeah.
How does Security Breach and its terrifying ruin DLC fit into the grand scheme of things?
Ooh, scary.
Yeah, get ready for even more twists and turns.
Okay.
Because this FNF deep dive is just getting started.
I'm ready. Welcome back to our FNF deep dive.
Ooh, it's spooky.
It is. So last time we built a foundation for our timeline, exploring the early days of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and the tragic events that really set the stage for The Haunting.
We talked about the missing children's incident,
Yes.
William Afton's descent into darkness,
That's right.
and the mystery surrounding Henry Emily.
Right.
But now, let's fast forward a bit and tackle those lingering questions about Golden Freddy. Is he a real animatronic, or is he something more spectral?
Ooh, that's the big question.
It is.
Golden Freddy's appearances throughout the games are so sporadic.
Yeah.
And often accompanied by glitches and distortions, Some theorists believe that he's a manifestation of the spirit possessing Fredbear after the bite incident in FNF 4F.
Well, you mean the spirit of the crying child.
Exactly.
But wouldn't he be attached to the Fredbear plush?
That's where Remnant comes in. Remember, it's that spiritual energy tied to strong emotions, both positive and negative.
Yeah.
And in the FNF universe, it can linger in objects
Wow.
and even influence animatronics.
So you're saying that some of the crying child's remnant, his essence, could have transferred from the Fredbear plush to the actual Fredbear animatronic, becoming Golden Freddy.
It's a fascinating idea.
That is fascinating.
And it would explain why Golden Freddy seems to appear and disappear at will, often in places where the crying child experienced trauma.
Oh, wow.
So.
Okay, now let's talk about the other side of that spiritual coin, agony.
Ooh. Yeah.
What is it, and how does it factor into the FNAF timeline?
So think of agony as like the dark counterpart to Remnant.
Okay.
It stems from pain, suffering, and violent death. In the games, agony seems to amplify the animatronics' aggression, twisting them into those terrifying creatures that we encounter.
Like if Remnant is like a flickering candle,
yes.
agony is a raging inferno.
Exactly.
Fueled by the horrific events that William Afton orchestrated.
Precisely. Afton's actions created a cycle of agony, a ripple effect of pain that continues to haunt the franchise.
This is heavy stuff.
It is.
So we've got these spiritual forces at play. But how does Afton himself escape justice for so long?
Right.
He seems to have this knack for evading consequences.
Well, the sources suggest that Afton was incredibly cunning and manipulative. He understood the limitations of technology and the authorities' inability to grasp the true nature of his crimes.
Right, he was always one step ahead.
He was like a phantom
Yeah.
disappearing into the shadows just when you thought you had him cornered.
But what about FNAF 3?
Yeah.
Doesn't he finally meet his end when he gets trapped inside the Springtrap suit?
Well, remember, in FNAF 3, we're 30 years after the closure of the FNAF 1 location, somewhere between 2015 and 2023.
Right.
The attraction, Fazbear's Fright, is built on the franchise's dark legacy, and they unwittingly brought Afton back into the spotlight, and he used that opportunity to orchestrate his final act.
And it was gruesome.
Oh, absolutely.
Those malfunctioning spring locks crushing him inside that decaying suit.
Yeah, it's brutal.
It seemed like the end of the line for William Afton.
It did.
But then Help Wanted comes along and throws a digital wrench into the work.
Exactly. Help Wanted reveals that Afton's consciousness, in the form of Glitch Trap, was able to escape his physical prison.
Okay, so how does that work?
So think of it like this.
Okay.
By scanning those circuit boards from the haunted animatronics, they inadvertently digitized Afton's remnant, his soul residue.
So it's like a digital ghost.
Ooh, I like that.
Right.
That's a great analogy. And from within that digital world, Glitch Trap could influence events in the real world, seeking a new vessel to inhabit.
Oh, that's creepy.
It's very creepy. And this brings us to Security Breach.
I mean,
The character of Vanessa,
oh, yeah.
the security guard who becomes entangled with Glitch Trap.
We discussed her potential vulnerability, her loneliness and fear, making her susceptible to manipulation. The game heavily implies that she becomes Vanny, the rabbit follower of Glitch Trap.
Yeah. But is she merely a puppet, or does she retain some level of free will?
Ooh, good question.
That's what we want to know.
Yeah.
The sources suggest that Vanessa might be struggling with her own internal demons.
Okay.
Torn between her desire to do good and Glitch Trap's overwhelming influence.
Man, that adds a layer of tragedy to her character, doesn't it?
It does.
A young woman caught in a battle she doesn't fully understand.
Exactly.
Okay, now let's shift gears a little bit and talk about Gregory, the child trapped in the Pizzaplex.
Oh yeah, Gregory.
We explored the theory that he could be a robot child created by Mrs. Afton, but is there another possibility?
Some theorists believe that Gregory might be a reincarnation of the crying child.
Oh, wow.
Drawn back to the Pizzaplex by a subconscious connection to his past life.
Okay, that's a pretty mind-blowing idea.
It is a mind-blowing idea.
But if he's reincarnation, why doesn't he remember his past life?
Right. Wouldn't that be a key part of the story?
You would think.
You would think so. But remember, reincarnation isn't always a perfect copy and paste.
I see.
It's more like carrying echoes of a past life.
Oh,
A sense of familiarity or deja vu.
okay.
It's possible that Gregory's memories are buried deep within his subconscious, slowly surfacing as he navigates the Pizzaplex.
Wow, that's deep.
It is deep.
It adds a whole new layer of complexity to the narrative.
Totally.
Okay, so we've got Gregory, potentially the reincarnated crying child, trying to survive a night in a haunted Pizzaplex.
Yeah.
But what about the ending of Security Breach? What happens when he escapes with Freddy?
Well, the ending is deliberately ambiguous.
Okay.
We see Gregory and Freddy walking away from the burning Pizzaplex.
Right.
But their fate is uncertain. If Gregory is indeed a robot, does Freddy become aware of his true nature?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, and what about Glitch Trap? Is he truly defeated?
Yeah, where'd he go?
Or is he lurking in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike again?
That's scary.
It's terrifying. You know, the FNAF universe rarely offers easy answers.
It doesn't, does it?
No, it's a world of ongoing cycles.
Right.
Of death and rebirth.
Yeah.
Of good battling evil. And the battle for the soul of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is far from over.
This is getting really intense.
It is. We've covered a lot of ground in this part, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've explored the mysteries of Golden Freddy, delved into the forces of Remnant and Agony,
Right.
tackled the digital resurrection of William Afton as Glitchtrap.
We did.
We've examined those complex characters of Vanessa and Gregory, and we've raised more questions than answers about the ending of Security Breach.
Which seems to be
a common theme.
A common theme in FNF.
Yeah.
But don't worry, we're not done yet.
Oh no, we've got more to come.
In the final part of this deep dive, we'll attempt to assemble our very own FNF timeline theory using all of the evidence that we've gathered
I can't wait.
and venturing into the realm of speculation.
Oh, my favorite part.
Mine too.
So get ready to put on your theorist hats.
Okay.
Because we're about to dive even deeper into the twisted and fascinating world
It's
of
about to get real.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Okay, so welcome back to our FNF deep dive. We've explored some pretty dark corners of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, right?
Oh, yeah.
Unraveling the mysteries of haunted animatronics, vengeful spirits, and a digital ghost.
Great Glitchtrap.
Named Glitchtrap, yeah. Now it's time to put all the pieces together.
Okay, I'm excited.
Yeah, we're going to construct our own FNF timeline theory.
Yes.
A narrative that spans decades.
Oh.
Weaving together all the details from the games, the books, and even, those tantalizing scraps of unused content.
Oh, the unused content always gets me.
It's like building a giant, terrifying puzzle.
Yeah.
But instead of pretty landscapes, we've got, blood-curdling screens and haunted pizzerias.
I like this puzzle.
So where do we even begin?
Let's rewind way back to the very beginning. Long before Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was even a glimmer in William Afton's eye. We're talking about, the era of dancing bear shows.
Ooh. Okay.
Those vaudeville-style performances that captivated audiences in the early 20th century.
Yes, the good old days.
The good old days.
Simpler times, simpler animatronics.
So Mr. Animatronic.
Maybe even just actors in costumes.
Right.
But even then, there's this hint of darkness lurking in the shadows.
Always. The sources mention this mysterious incident
Oh.
called the Fall Fest tragedy.
Oh, what's that?
So imagine a festive autumn carnival,
Right.
with children laughing and parents snapping photos.
Yeah, sounds idyllic.
Idyllic, but then chaos erupts.
Oh, no.
And animatronic malfunctions, perhaps even catches fire,
Oh,
causing panic and potential casualties.
that's terrifying.
It's very terrifying.
Could this be like William Afton's first brush with tragedy?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Foreshadowing the darkness to come.
Potentially. Maybe he witnessed this event as a child, or perhaps even play a role in it.
Oh.
The details are shrouded in mystery, but the impact is clear. Afton develops this fascination with animatronics, but it's tinged with both wonder and fear.
I see. So we've got this origin story brewing.
Yeah.
A blend of ambition and trauma
Right.
that shapes Afton's path.
Yes.
But what about Henry Emily? Where does he fit in?
Well, Henry, a man driven by creativity
Okay.
and a desire to bring joy to others, likely crosses paths with Afton during this era.
Okay.
They share this passion for entertainment, for bringing inanimate objects to life.
Yeah.
Together, they dream of building something truly special.
And that dream becomes Fredbear's Family Diner,
Yeah.
the first chapter in the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza saga.
Exactly. We're talking the late 1940s or early 1950s here.
Okay, so imagine like a quaint diner.
Ooh, I love quaint diners.
Yeah. Checkered floors, red vinyl booths.
Yes.
And the stars of the show.
Yeah.
Fredbear and Spring Bonnie.
Of course.
Those spring-lock suits that will become both icons and instruments of terror.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
It's fascinating to think about these early days.
Yeah.
A time of innocence before the darkness takes hold.
Before it all went wrong.
But even then, there are hints of trouble brewing.
Always. Right.
There's always something.
So the competition with Chica's Party World,
Oh, yeah.
another restaurant featuring animatronic performers, fuels Afton's ambition.
Right. He always wants to be the best.
Of course, he's driven to create something bigger, better, more awe-inspiring.
And that ambition, coupled with his fascination with pushing the boundaries,
Right.
might have led him down a dangerous path.
That's right.
What if, in his pursuit of perfection,
Yeah.
Afton started experimenting with, more sophisticated and potentially unstable technologies?
It's a very plausible theory.
It is.
The spring-lock suits with those intricate mechanisms and their potential for deadly malfunctions, could be a testament to Afton's willingness to take risks, to blur the lines between entertainment and danger.
Yeah, that sounds like Afton.
Yeah, so now fast forward to the late 1970s, early 1980s. Afton's daughter, Elizabeth, is tragically killed by Circus Baby, an animatronic of his own design.
Wow.
This event just shatters him, transforming his ambition into this obsession with death and resurrection. The grief, the guilt, the desperate longing to bring his daughter back consumes him.
It's heavy.
It's a lot. He delves deeper into these forbidden technologies, seeking to harness the power of remnant, that spiritual essence that lingers in objects and souls.
And then, in 1983, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza opened its doors.
That's right. A grander, more elaborate establishment than Fredbear's Family Diner. A testament to Afton's ambition and his desire to create a legacy.
But beneath the surface, darkness is festering. Afton, driven by his twisted desires, uses the spring Bonnie suit to lure 5 children to their deaths. Forever tainting the legacy of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
It's so sad.
It is.
The missing children's incident is like the pivotal event in the FNAF timeline, right?
It is.
It's the catalyst for the haunting that will plague the franchise for decades to come.
Yeah, the spirits of those children, trapped within the animatronics, seek revenge for the horrors they endured.
Of course.
And the cycle of death and agony begins.
It begins, and it never seems to end.
It never ends, yeah. And then, in 1985, Henry's daughter, Charlie, is murdered outside the pizzeria.
Yes, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, her spirit finds refuge in the security puppet.
Becoming this guardian for other lost souls.
Wow.
Like a beacon of hope amidst all the darkness.
Yeah, the puppet's presence really adds another layer of complexity to this whole story.
Totally.
It's a symbol of both tragedy and protection.
Absolutely.
A reminder that even in the face of overwhelming darkness, there are forces fighting for good.
I love that.
Yeah, now let's jump ahead to 1987.
Okay.
Pizzeria reopens.
It reopens.
Yeah, it reopens.
Yeah.
Featuring the new and improved toy animatronics.
Oh, the toy animatronics.
Yeah, Henry, determined to prevent further tragedies, equips them with facial recognition technology.
Oh, wow.
That's linked to a criminal database.
He's really trying to protect the children.
He is.
Yeah.
But Afton, cunning as ever,
of course,
finds a way to exploit this system, using it to target and kill more children.
No.
The pizzeria is shut down again, and the toy animatronics are scrapped.
Afton just can't help himself.
No, his obsession with death and resurrection it knows no bounds.
Yeah, it's relentless.
He creates the Funtime animatronics.
Oh, yeah.
Designed to capture and experiment on children.
Wow.
Further fueling that cycle of agony.
It just keeps getting darker and darker.
Yeah, and then in 1993, Afton seemingly meets his demise.
Oh, yeah.
Inside the spring trap suit.
Spring locks got him?
The malfunctioning spring locks crushed him.
Yeah.
Leaving him trapped within the decaying animatronic.
Right, it seemed like the end of the line.
It did.
Cerulean after.
But as we know, death is never truly the end in the FNA universe. Never. So, fast forward to the 2010s.
Okay.
And we have the creation of Fazbear's Fright.
Fazbear's Fright, yeah.
This horror attraction that unwittingly becomes Afton's escape route.
His escape route.
His remnant, preserved within the circuit boards of those haunted animatronics, is digitized, giving birth to Glitch Trap.
Digital ghost.
The digital ghost, unbound by the limitations of the physical world.
It's scary how he just transcends.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Glitch Trap seeks a new vessel, a way to re-enter the real world and continue his reign of terror.
That's what he wants.
And he finds one in Vanessa, right?
Yes, Vanessa.
A lonely and vulnerable security guard
who
falls prey to his manipulation.
Yeah.
And then in 2023, Security Breach unfolds.
Yes, the latest chapter.
Vanessa, now under Glitch Trap's control, orchestrates those animatronic attacks on Gregory.
Poor Gregory.
Who might be a robot creation or even a reincarnation of the crying child.
Right, we still don't know for sure.
And Glamrock Freddy, resistant to Glitch Trap's influence, becomes Gregory's protector.
A true hero.
Yeah, a true hero.
A metal hero.
The ending of Security Breach is ambiguous.
Yes.
But it's clear that the battle against Afton is far from over.
Definitely.
And then we have the Ruin DLC.
Oh, yes, Ruin.
A chilling glimpse into the future of the franchise.
Yeah.
The Mimic, this terrifying creature.
Oh, the Mimic, yeah.
Formed from the remnants of multiple animatronics.
Oh, wow.
Emerges from the shadows.
Spooky.
The Mimic's motives are unclear.
Right.
But its presence suggests that the cycle of death and agony continues to spiral out of control.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
It's not. Is it connected to Glitchtrap? Or is this an entirely new threat, born from the collective trauma that has seeped into Freddy Fazbear's Pizza?
So many questions.
I know, we've covered a lot of ground in this FNAF deep dive.
We have.
But the story is far from over.
It's never over.
The timeline continues to evolve with each new installment.
Right.
Adding these new layers of complexity.
And terror.
And terror. We've pieced together a narrative that spans decades, right?
Yeah.
This tale of ambition, tragedy, revenge, and the enduring battle between good and evil.
It's epic.
It is. But this is just one interpretation of the FNAF timeline.
Exactly.
The beauty of this franchise, I think, lies in its ambiguity.
But totally.
Its ability to spark endless debate and fuel countless theories.
I love it.
Yeah. So, dear listener, it's your turn now.
Your turn.
Take the knowledge that you've gained from this deep dive.
Yeah.
And explore the mysteries of FNAF for yourself.
Do your own research.
Unearth those secrets, connect the dots.
Yes.
And maybe, just maybe, you'll uncover truths that even we haven't considered.
That's the best part.
Yeah, so until next time, keep theorizing, keep surviving, and remember,
Nightmares are always watching.
they're always watching.
Yeah.